Hello, class. So today I will be doing my persuasive speech. Um, Here's my audience. You guys say hi. The camera's right there. Hi. All right. So I'm going to be talking about micro targeting through social media. One of the things that I want you guys to think about is each time that you guys look at your phones or go on the computer, if you guys have Facebook or Twitter, if you guys watch YouTube, think about the messages that that are on there. And in this case, it has to do with the presidential elections. Next slide. All right, here's the introduction. So 2016, we're at that point for the presidential elections. Pretty soon, voters will line up at voting stations across the United States to vote for the next president. All right. Um, Believe it or not, in this day and age, social media plays a big role in this. One of the reasons why is micro targeting. Um, as you can see on the slide, there's some pictures how social media has changed the election. You see Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. Um, Next slide. So topics to discuss. First, we'll start off with the definition of micro-targeting. Then we'll go into why do candidates use social media to target voters. And then next, we'll go into see why micro-targeting is effective and how candidates use analysis to prove it. Next slide. So what is micro-targeting? Uh, the term simply means that messages can be created to be more intimate to a user's platform of social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, or YouTube, as people use for different reasons. So with micro-targeting, a candidate can actually go through and they can cater their message to whatever individual group. Next slide. So how do presidential candidates use micro-targeting in social media? Okay, the campaign leaders of candidates use analysis of different types of social media to cater to a certain audience. They're able to change the way a candidate gives a speech. They can change the appearance and attitude based off the reactions of voters. Since the various types of social media usually have a certain type of audience, candidates are able to make more connections with more people. Um, Next slide. So why do candidates use social media to target voters? All right, they want to win. They want to get your vote. Um, Candidates have followers just like everybody else. Um, so they use it to put their views out to people of different age groups, and to different backgrounds. All right. The candidates advertise things like, for instance, if they're pet lovers, what sports teams they are interested in. Things like this give public more of an intimate view on what a candidate is like. So it brings you closer to the candidate. And whether you guys believe it or not, in some way, shape, or form, that is influencing you in how you may vote for the next president. Next slide. Okay. So to ensure that micro-targeting is effective, candidates must use analysis to prove that it is effective. So there are actually companies that buy data from social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and they use this data to send out specific messages to people using the websites without even knowing. Um, there's some of the candidates that actually spend millions of dollars to get this information, to get this um, analyst information. Ted Cruz, for instance, spent millions of dollars on data analysis. His campaign worked with a British company to develop psychological behavior based models of American voters. The idea was not only to identify which issues potential supporters care about more, but it was also to find the best possible way to make that case to them. So he's a prime example of how micro targeting is being used um, to get your vote. Next slide. So, in conclusion, all right, social media can be used in various ways for many things. All right, it's a tool to reach a wide audience and can send a message in a way that will cater to individual views. Through use of data collection, candidates can micro-target voters on more personal levels and showing they share many of the same views of their likes and dislikes. Um, it's important for us to understand that social media is a tool, all right? Um, we use it on an everyday basis to interact with our friends, family, whether near, far, all right? Um, and candidates, presidential candidates right now, they are actually using the media to shoot out a message to you to say, hey, this is what I like to do. I like Yorkies. I like the Broncos. Um, I like this kind of music. And what it's doing is it's creating a message in your brain saying, hey, this person is on my level. Um, you may or may not think about other issues, but those are going to be some of the things that you remember the most when you're out voting for these guys. Next slide. So these are some of the references. This is where you can find some of the information, um, and there's a lot out there. So if you guys actually Google micro targeting, it'll bring up a whole bunch of information, um, and it's actually been used in the past elections with Obama. He used it a lot. So that concludes my persuasive speech. Thank you.